What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is championship weekend. We got the NFC and the AFC games coming on this weekend. Chiefs, Bills, Commanders, Eagles. Also going to recap the national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes winning once again. But was our fan base satisfied with the victory? We also discussed more things about the 12-team playoff and some coaching carousels around the NFL with one of our special guests and one of my homeboys, Joshua Edwards from the Panthers Pride podcast. So
Yes,
buckle up.
sir.
It's your boy E. Everybody up here. Let's go ahead and get it on. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is
What's up,
Enter
man?
the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We got a very special guest today, but we got to get to the regulars. It's your boy DT. We got Lady E. See Henry somewhere trying to get his stuff situated. But we got my boy Joshua Edwards of the Joshua Proximity Podcast and also a brand new podcast to support his Carolina Panthers. Josh, Shaw, you.
What's up, baby? Show you.
You know?
Hey, two claps for the you, two claps for the you. You.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
now
Yes,
look,
sir.
Lady E came in here talking crazy, talking about the Carolina Panthers is a little bruh, but I'm gonna let her ride right now. Yeah, we got some beef, but we'll get to that probably later on.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, the true rivalry is between us and the Saints. We don't recognize y'all, so there's that.
Yeah, I would kind of say the same thing. It's a Tampa Bay versus Carolina situation. We kind of look at you guys as the lower end of the NFC South. So that's just how we
The
look at it.
the lower end. Oh, okay. I mean, we will have to lay flat for y'all to even catch us up in the all-time record. So, little bruh, back in
Hey,
your
look,
place. Thank
hey,
you.
all I'm gonna say is, man, who won last? Okay, all
We
right. Okay.
split.
Oh,
We
God.
We
split.
always
That's
split and we always get you at the end.
Hey, hold up.
My
Can
bad, my
we
bad.
get to the can we get on schedule? Oh my God. This
Sorry, I
is like me and
apologize.
C. Henry. Okay. So, Josh, this is glad for you to come. Welcome to your first appearance on Enter the Lab podcast. This is a all NFL and college football show on every Thursday. So we're going to go ahead and go to the college news real quick. And as you guys can see, the Ohio State Buckeyes
Oh
come with another
Lord.
national championship. They win 34-23 against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, obviously, this year when it came to the numbers and stuff like that, it kind of went down in terms of how the 12-team playoff, it had some type of success, but it kind of went into the meat of the NFL postseason where the numbers is, even though Ohio State's still the big brand, Notre Dame is still the big brand, they still average 22.6 million people watching, it still didn't get the same satisfaction as we give college football. So I'm going to ask you guys, first thing first, what are your thoughts on the game, and what are some things they can do to better the performance of college football so it won't be interacting with the NFL postseason? Because right now we're in the meat of it. We're in championship weekend right now.
I think we kind of touched based on this last week too. I'm gonna say this. Um, they did have to extend it. It kind of messed up because my Hawks normally play on Martin Luther King Day. They actually didn't get the chance to play at home on MLK Day. To be honest with you, it was
Yeah.
first time in years because of the national championship. So it's not just cutting into the meat of NFL; it's actually cutting into the meat of basketball too, as well. So all in all, I will say this: I think they kind of prolonged it a little bit. If anything, I really say that they should basically, like, if you're going to have the 12, keep it on the campuses, let the bowl games get the people that they need to get in, and then probably take 2 of the bowl games and probably use it. But I do really think that we should just keep the playoffs away from the bowl games and kind of just let them kind of make their money and just keep it on the college, like keep it at home. And I think that will help with the fans a little bit, because home games, when you're playing at home and your team is in the championship, just like when it's the NFL or even when it's like, you know, basketball, you get a better crowd. You know what I mean? You might get better viewership too as well, because it's like, oh, wow, you know, like for me, Georgia, oh, wow, they're playing at Stanford Stadium. Like, y'all got to go to Athens. You know what I'm saying? Or even like with y'all playing in the, you know, playing out there in Ohio State. That would have done something. National championship, neutral site. I just feel like that's a little bit better for that. So it just won't be prolonged. You know, they can finish up what they need to finish up in December, do the national championship the beginning of January, and let the bowl games have the bowl games. Let them have their fun. Let them have their time. And that gives more teams, too, an opportunity to be seen. You know, not the ones that, you know, in a sense, you know, taking over that. I feel like give the other teams opportunity, a chance to be seen, too. That's more money for the bowl games as well, because you know that their fans are probably going to be out there. I mean, who doesn't want to go play in the Rose Bowl? Let's be for real. Like, who doesn't want to go play out there?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of piggyback what you said. I do feel like it was prolonged. When you think about when the regular season ended, and then it took them a while to get the bowl games. Then after that, they had to go through the playoffs. Then after that, it was like another extra bye week to get to the national championship. And it's like, it's too long. Because like Darius said, now you're cutting into NFL postseason. Like, that has never happened in college football. I think that they got to revisit it, and there can't be such a huge layoff between the end of the regular season to the college bowls, man. I think maybe not take a full month off. 2 weeks is good. Yeah. At this time, all the students are off campus. It's just going to be straight football on the campus. And those are going to be what's going on. I think that there should be a 2 week between the end of the regular season to the bowl games. Teams shouldn't have a full month off. Like you saw the teams that had a bye, they damn near had a month and some change, like almost 2 months off. So, I think that's what you got to do to cut it down, not prolong it so much. And then after it is the Final Four or whatever, you don't need an extra week, man. This is not the Super Bowl. Like, you're not having anybody that's performing at halftime that's like that. Just go ahead and just play the national championship the next week. That's just my thoughts.
No, I agree with it. Shout out to my homie Crown, Kevo. You are not getting that what you want. You're not getting that. But shout out to him. But you're not getting that from me, okay? You already know that. You're not getting that from me. But no, I do agree. I know that with football, it takes a little bit longer to recuperate and to recover. So I get it. I understand what they're trying to do. But I do feel that after championship weekend, whoever had to pay in their conference championships, Notre Dame, I'm looking at you. But whoever had to play in their conference championships, hey, schedule them a little bit further out just to give them that rest time. But Notre Dame, I'm looking at you. You the first one on the docket.
Absolutely.
Right after. Have fun. You know what I'm saying? But that's just kind of how I see it, to go ahead and start getting it there. I know that they're talking about, people entering the portal and, signing. I don't care about none of that. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
first of
all, definitely don't care about that at the moment.
Yeah, please put signing day back when signing day was in February, because I prefer the February. That was the excitement. So put that back where it was and let these boys play these football games, so it can be a national championship possibly on New Year's, or possibly on the second day of New Year's or the third. Like, do that so these kids, because these kids are now coming back into school by the time you do these national championship games, depending on the school that they're starting back school. So give them that opportunity, but I prefer the games to actually just be played. Like if they're in the playoffs, play them in their home turf. No more neutral sites. Give other people those opportunities to be in those bowl games. Don't take those bowl games away from some of these other schools who are deserving and want to be able to get looked at too. Like, let's do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think also you guys kind of hit at the same noggin. Me personally, I would prefer January 1st actually to be when the national championship at the Rose Bowl. I feel like the Rose Bowl is literally the greatest sporting spectacle. It is the one stadium that I'm very excited to see. One half of the stadium filled with wherever your team color is, and then the opposite team. It should be the national championship at that. There's nothing wrong with the neutral site national championship, I'm saying. But when I'm thinking about just trying to the timing, because a lot of these things we're thinking about too is January 20th, and a lot of these guys are got to get ready for the NFL with all-star
Absolutely.
games, the draft combine. So their body is going to be very fatigued and already to that point. By January 1st, I feel like college should be done by then, and
Absolutely.
then the NFL gets its course.
I agree.
Especially when you got the East and West Shrine game comes on first, and then you got the Senior Bowl come right on after, and especially if these guys are going to the combine, they don't have enough time to go spend with their trainers and to really start focusing on there. Like some of the other people that already played their bowl games, that already did what they're supposed to do, they're already training for these games, for these teams. You know, the ones that got kicked out early, the ones that just did all of that, but they're already getting ready. The ones that are still playing, I feel bad for them because you only got 3 weeks if you're in the East or West Shrine Bowl, or you're just saying, hey, forget it. I'm just not going to go there. I'm going to go focus on the combine if you have that invite. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a less time if you're getting in front of scouts and getting in front of people really showing, because now that's just taking that away from that. So, I mean, hey, I want to see what it's going to look like when they talking about it's supposed to be going to 14. I want to see it. Like at this point in time,
they cut down the regular season games. That's what it's going to come down to. I feel like.
But then what are we really doing? Let's be real. Like now we're getting away from the actual sport.
Core of college football.
Yeah. Like what are we doing? Like just because y'all want these playoffs? Like no, I just feel like that's just doing too much at this point.
Yeah, and I've seen a situation, just to chime in just real quick, I've seen a situation where they were talking about, getting rid of championship weekend altogether for conferences and stuff like that. So,
get rid of the conference at this point. If we're going to do this, let's get rid of the conference. Yeah. Just get rid of the conference.
It look like that's where we're heading.
That's sad. No more SEC. Okay.
See, Henry, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? You know what, man? I'm having some technical difficulties earlier in the evening, man. Man, let me just say this, son. Let me give my kudos right now and get ready to take all of the lashes that I'm going to take this week. You know what I'm saying? It was a real rough week as a Detroit sports fan. You know what I mean? So, kudos to Ohio State in their victory this week, their national championship. Another win for the Big Ten. That's always good. I hear that I'm coming in on the tail end of this conversation where, kind of talking about the cheapening of the regular season, if you will. And I'm kind of with you guys. I don't know if I want to see this expanded anymore. I'm really probably in the camp of I want to go back to a reduction. I want to go back to maybe 6 or 8 teams because, again, I don't want to be petty here. But it's kind of funny to hear folks say, yeah, we won the Natty. Now we just got to go back and win the conference and win the game. That's a real funny quote to me right now. That's the real opinion by a lot of folks. I'm just saying, I'm not being petty, but
a lot of people have on Facebook. You lucky this is going on Facebook right here. I got church fans on that. You're lucky.
I'm not used to hearing that, man. And if it wasn't you guys, DT, it could be somebody else. And
Alabama did it. Alabama did it. They beat Georgia and they didn't win the SEC, and they got able to get in and beat us and won it without winning the conference championship. So it's been done. I mean, TCU made it where they got their butt
and lost in the championship.
Georgia.
Yeah. The team kicked out of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do agree. I do agree. If we're going to go that direction and we're going to expand, first of all, we need then like Josh said, we need to cut down on the regular season, get these boys the opportunity because if you're continuing this all the way down until we get down to the freaking to the shrine, the East and West Shrine game. What's the little All Star? Because I don't even watch it no more. The Pro Bowl. We get down there to the Pro Bowl with the NFL. If we start messing with them, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
like you got to think about it. Pro Bowls at the end of the month. They just had the national championship this past Monday.
Yeah.
Like we are getting too close where we're tapping into other sports. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love baseball. You know, baseball goes into it when it's still in college football season. The start of basketball season, NFL season is there. But that's the World Series. We're done after that. You don't hear nothing about baseball until literally March when spring training is out there. So why are we continuing and making this longer when we're dealing with kids with education, number one, but two is what are we doing? Just because y'all want money or just because we're trying to give more teens opportunities? No, give more teens opportunities in the bowl.
Are we really dealing with education at this point? We got people flying from California to Michigan, staying the whole week there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, Zoom subscriptions are probably at an all-time high right now. So I don't even know, man, if we even talking about the educational piece. This is the junior big leagues right here. We got money being exchanged. We got 18-year-olds with agents. You know what I'm saying? We got moms walking out of signing situations because they done basically sold already to a school, and now you done messed up the situation, messed up the money. It's a whole different situation here, but hey, I still love it. I still love it.
You're right, though. You're right. This is definitely a new experience with college football and many more discussions with this playoff format and how things be done. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get to the NFL. We got some major big topics to talk about, but let's go ahead and talk about one of the hottest ones right now. Ravens and Bills.
Oh, man.
When we talked about that game, obviously, hey, man, I think it's time to have that conversation with...
I told you he had me here. Now I'm here.
So, my guy Josh.
Yes, sir.
Where are you at with Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson is the fourth best quarterback in the National Football League. He's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Joe Burrow. And he's obviously not better than Patrick Mahomes. I have been telling people, if they didn't win it last year, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see him winning at all. I do not see him winning a Super Bowl at all. A lot of people want to frame it as he's going to get it done one day. That is not stamped. None of that stuff is guaranteed. We've seen a lot of great quarterbacks miss their window, miss their opportunities. The Matt Ryans of the world, the Cam Newtons, the Cam Newtons of the world. You know, you really get that opportunity once in a lifetime. I mean, they've been the number one seed twice. They had historically one of the best defenses last year, a defense that had the Triple Crown. And this season, I mean, you led offensively in multiple statistical categories. You add a Hall of Fame running back in your backfield, and what does he do? He shows up like he normally does in the postseason. He does not perform. Lamar Jackson, he's just not it, man. I mean, two things can be true. He is a regular season quarterback. I know a lot of people are going to try to frame it as, hey, I'm hating on the black man. Damn that. All right. Respectfully, damn that. Look, I'm at a point right now. You got to produce. I don't give a damn about no regular season. I don't care about no MVP awards. I am at a point in my space with Lamar Jackson. Bro, you've been the highest paid quarterback. You've won going on 3 MVPs, and you just haven't delivered when the time is necessary. His only playoff last little bit. His only playoff wins are against Ryan Tannehill, a rookie CJ Stroud, Russell Wilson, and that's it. He's lost to the elite of the elites. He lost to Josh Allen. He's lost to Phillip Rivers back in the day. Yeah, Josh Allen twice. He's lost to Patrick Mahomes, Phillip Rivers back in the day, but that was his rookie season. But I mean, I'm just done with him, man. I don't want to hear Lamar in football until January. Don't say Lamar in football in the same sentence until it's January in postseason. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Hey Josh, man, that's a tough, act to follow right there, man. I'm one who's often had my Lamar cape on. I thought again, this would be a great opportunity for him to get over the hump, at least against Josh Allen. Josh Allen has done it this year with really no true elite weapons on the outside. I am going to still say it is a little bit hard for me to really, walk away from Lamar without seeing him with the premier weapon. When you talk about Josh, he did have Diggs for a couple years. We talk about Burrow, he has had Chase and T. Higgins on that team. Mahomes, we've seen him with Tyreek for a short period of time. So it's hard to truly evaluate him. Zay Flowers being probably the best receiver he's played with is tough. But again, though, with Derrick Henry, that defense has kind of come back together this year. Definitely not as impressive as they was last year. You expect him to get over the hump, at least with Josh Allen. It didn't happen this year. He had 2 turnovers in the game. I can shoot him some bail. He put the ball right on Andrews. You know what I'm saying? And I expected to possibly play overtime. And I think if he makes that play, and even if they do lose the game, they aren't on him as tough as they are now. But again, you lost the game. You contributed to the loss with 2 turnovers. It's time for folks to kind of start looking at you a little sideways and saying, hey, you are a 3-time MVP. Not too many folks can say that, can have those type of accolades without a Super Bowl championship. So again, I want to say give him another weapon, give him a top 10, top 15 receiver, and let's see what he got. But the narrative is starting to write itself. You know what I'm saying? What is the greatest indicator of future performance? Past performance. And he's come up short in these moments. So unfortunately, my brother, Lamar, the pressure's on you, man.
I'm just going to sit over here and put my head to the side because I already told you. My head was already here. Now I'm here. We got to have that conversation. Now, this last game, I'm going to say I'm not going to put the full blame on him because I am going to say the likes of a Mark Andrews let him down. Don't understand why Todd Monken decided to put the ball in Mark Andrews' hands when you have Derrick Henry right there. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Todd Monken. He gave me my back-to-back national championships, and he's a good offensive coordinator, for real, for real. I mean, he got Lamar at 4,000 yards passing and got him even with the rushing yards. So, he's balanced. But at the same token, play calling wasn't there because I was even trying to figure out why Derrick Henry wasn't really getting the ball. I know you wanted to kind of spread it around, but if you got Derrick Henry, who's want to tackle Derrick Henry in the cold, let alone constantly? So run him. Even though they were making the stops, run him. You know what I mean? Give him that opportunity. Then do a change of back situation to put it over there to kind of open it up a little bit because they're going to be expecting Derrick Henry. But who wants to tackle this big linebacker? I keep telling y'all that's not a running back, it's a linebacker. Who want to keep tackling him on every down? So, and then again, I'm still replaying the playback in my head because Mark Andrews just looked like one of them little characters on Madden where you're trying to get the controller and you spin him around and bam, like he's about to do a whole little turnabout, and that's what he looked like. So I'm not going to put that all on Lamar, but in the same token, Lamar had 2 turnovers, 2 costly turnovers in that game, and there wasn't again, you can tell that he was still just hasn't reached that hump yet with that. So again, we just have to have that conversation. Is the lights too big? When the spotlight's on you, are the lights too big and then you're shriveling up and you can't figure it out? Or is it, we gave you the weapons?
Don't say shriveling up like that. No man wants to hear
I'm
that.
just...
No man wants to hear that. Don't say it like that.
Now look, I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody, I'm a woman. I can say that. Anyway.
Shut up.
But no, so but in all regards, it's just like we gave him the weapons. You got the OC. You got the defense. I mean, don't get me wrong. The defense kind of took a little step back this year and might take another step back next year. But you have what you need. So right now, it's looking more so like, is this just a mental thing, or have we seen Lamar reach where he's going to be? Unfortunately, I hate to say it that way. You know, I do want to see him do good. I do want to see it, but again, if the vote does come back that this is his third MVP, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be definitely a lot of questions that you win 3 MVPs and you don't have a Super Bowl to show for it, or at least have a win, of appearance. You know, I mean, hell, I'll be honest with you, the Falcons didn't have 2, even though we didn't win, we didn't have 2. You know what I'm saying?
When you look at the big picture, though, real quick, I'm sorry, DT, I jumped in real quick. When you look at the big picture, you got Pat Mahomes. Pat out here like Michael Jordan right now. He baller blocking. He championship blocking. A lot of great players. And then you add in a Josh Allen and a Burrow. Like that whole AFC, you know what I'm saying? That triage, if you will, above him is tough to go through. Now, with that being said, if Josh loses this week, we right back here, we're having the same conversation about him.
Well, but here's
right back here.
But is it the same thing with Josh? Is it, if we're looking at it the same? He can beat Mahomes in the regular season, but he just can't beat him in the playoffs. I mean, can we look at it the same way though?
Hey, and let Burrow don't come through next year. We talk. See, you know what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time. Pat out there baller blocking. Somebody gonna have to knock off Pat.
But here's the thing: how many quarterbacks can we say that though? I mean, Dak Prescott looks very good during the regular season, disappears in the postseason.
Yeah, but I still think those 3 or 4 quarterbacks are cornerstone pieces though. Those are. How should I say special? What's your word for JD?
Multipliers. Go ahead and say it. They're ones who are able to elevate the people around them whatsoever.
It's only a few of those. It's only a few.
Now let me get on this table real quick. And this is why I have a problem with a lot of people fan base. I'm looking at you, Baltimore Ravens. Regardless of him being 16 of 25, 251 passing, and 2 passing touchdowns, he still had 2 crucial turnovers in the first quarter of a divisional game that spotted them 10 points. I'm like Shannon Sharp. The same way he was getting on Joe Burrow for how elite of a year he was having, there were games that he was costing them. Whatsoever. If you know your defense is trash, what you cannot do? Turn the ball over. Jared Goff, I hate to throw this shot. You know your defense is not good.
We ain't trying to do that game. Hold on, DT. Hold on, DT. Hold on, DT.
You know your defense is not up to par. What you cannot do, you cannot turn the ball over. That is one of the jobs of an NFL quarterback. You are to win the game, you're to play the game, and you have to manage the game. You have to manage the game. You cannot turn the ball over in crucial moments because that comes back and haunt you. And I get everybody talking about Mark Andrews. Yes, he had a fumble when they were driving down in a strip. Yes, he had to drop. But if you don't give them 10 points, you have a shot. The Ravens were the better team. Let's be completely honest. Based on my eye test, the Ravens were a better team than the Bills. Those turnovers brought them up to that level. When you have a team that you feel like is not up to par, that you have to play perfect. You on the fence. And once you give them life, immediately it goes like this. And that's how it is with the playoffs, man. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And I love Lamar. My brother's a Raven fan. But I'm going to tell him straight up. He got to show me something, man.
Got to.
Got to.
Got to.
He got to show me something.
Got to. 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 Got to.
At this
like,
point,
QBR is so low in the second round of the playoffs. It is ridiculous. Every time they have a second playoff game, he looks horrible. Now, okay, the interception, look, did all 22. Okay, bend the route. But at the end of the day, that's still on the stat sheet. But that fumble, you can't do that, bro.
Can't do that.
I'd much rather you take a sack. I'd much rather you take a sack or you throw it away. Don't fumble, man.
Yeah. It was a 10-point swing at that point. I mean, you was definitely within Justin Tucker's, field goal range. You bobble the snap, but then you look around, try to make another play, and Von Miller's up and running, man. But you said it best, man. Why is it always in the second and AFC Championship game last year, but why is it always the divisional round? Like, he's a wild card merchant. Let's just call it for what it is. He's a wild card merchant. It is okay. He is a great regular season quarterback, but when it comes against the best of the best, the elite of the elite, he's just not going to produce, man. And like you said, DT, like, this was the game where everybody knew, man, if we talking just regular football, the Ravens should beat the Bills. But what is it going to come down to? What quarterback is going to make the most plays? What quarterback is going to protect the ball? And that's just what it came down to.
Yeah.
And I hate that because for all the slander, and I'm gonna be real, I'll tell in my group chat. I told him at first I was not a Josh Allen guy because one of the main problems I had with Josh Allen was he turned the ball over. He would average about a good 13 to 15 interceptions, and he was careless play. Y'all remember when Josh Allen first started? He was very careless with the football. But what hit him this year? He decided he's not going to turn the ball over, and this is the best year in terms of turnover ratio. He's taking care of the football, and he's making his team better because he's taking care of the football. Lamar doing that in the regular season, but it just what happened as soon as he gets in the division round, he has 2 costly turnovers. His first multi-turnover game in the playoffs.
And I think that's the real difference between the two right now. Wins and losses in the big games, and the head-to-head, matchups, of course. But just how he has protected the football, even in those big moments. You know what I mean? This year, he seems to have done more with less. He didn't have Diggs in this offense. I forgot the other wide receiver that he didn't have. But, he's basically doing it with a no-name receiving core out there, him carrying the football, being the secondary, running back. James Cook did have a very, very good year. Shout out to him. I think he had 20 touchdowns, so he did his thing. But with that being said, it's basically like a two-headed monster. You know what I mean? With him being kind of the orchestrator of that whole offense. And again, in those big moments versus Lamar, he's been able to come up big, and he does have the regular season victories over Pat Mahomes. But again, he come up short this week, I should say. We're gonna see. We might be right here having the same conversation about him. It's tough though. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, man. Pat Mahomes over there baller blocking, man.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. I'm saying doing Michael Jordan.
Oh Lord. No, but I do agree. I think it's just at this point in time, I think we just gotta figure out exactly. And I think it's just more so on Lamar gotta figure it out themselves. Again. Not the first time we've seen him struggle like this in these type of games, but in the same token, they were the Ravens were the better team over the Bills, and literally that was their game to lose. And I hate to say it that way, any type of turnovers, like to your point, DT, you have those type of turnovers. You can't do that. Not in the playoffs. We all know you got to protect the ball at all costs. When you start turning over and different things like that, it gives the other team momentum. And at this point, they know for a fact we got you beat. And Josh Allen and them took key to that. I'm just still mad they didn't use Derrick Henry. So me and Ty gonna have to have a talk about that because that's not the Todd I know.
All right. Before we get to the juicier part of the show, we want to touch in a little bit on some of the coaching hires that have happened so far. So Ben Johnson is shout out to C. Henry for us. So the Lions have both lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn will be coaching for the New York Jets. And Ben Johnson will be the head coach.
You call him jerk?
I was trying to clear my throat. Before I said that. Ben Johnson will be coaching the Chicago Bears. See, Henry, I'm gonna ask you because this obviously you know these guys very well. If you had to decide which side of the ball for the Lions will probably take the biggest hit, which side will you think take the bigger hit? Do you think it will be without Ben Johnson,
Um,
or would it be Aaron Glenn?
which side would take the bigger hit? I think the offense would take the bigger hit. I just think that when you look at those two guys, you've got two great coaches, but two great guys who have strengths in different areas, in my opinion. I think Ben Johnson is a master, X's and O's guy, great, strategist, puts together great game plans, puts together, great plays, is a very, very good play caller, usually, not last week, but usually. While I think that, AG is a, very, 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 very well-schooled, old-school coach, more so leader of men, solid with the X's and O's. We've seen him, though, for a couple of years, kind of get out-coached. We saw him get out-coached this past week a little bit. This year, I think he probably had the best personnel that he's probably had to work with in the first 3 years to kind of shoot him some bail. And at the first 8 to 10 weeks, he had probably a top 8 to 10 defense that was, really looking very, very, very formidable. But as those bodies started to drop off, I think that, we got a little bit exposed in terms of the depth situation. And I think that his schematics, at times could be exposed. But with that being said, I think he is a great coach, a great culture builder. I think he was very, very crucial in helping Dan establish that culture here in Detroit. So I think they both have a route for success, but they're both different players. And if you ask me, who's going to be more easily replaced, if you will, I would say AG a little bit, because I think schematically we can definitely get better. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely get better schematically. Offensively, I think, Ben had some great things. I think we number one scoring offense in the league. So again, if we go outside, it's going to be possibly learning, a new offense totally. And trying to get those offensive concepts to match up with our player personnel. If we go internal, you can expect probably some carryover from what we've been doing, but maybe not, possibly not at the the efficiency that Ben's been doing that. But you never know, though. No one was checking for AG before we hired him. No one was checking for Ben before we hired him. So I have kind of the confidence in Brad Holmes and then Dan that they can continue to find those crucial hires, man, and build that staff. We lost a couple of coaches. We lost our defensive line coach, who's not going to be the defensive coordinator with the Rams. Yeah. I'm sorry, not with the Rams, with the
Patriots.
The Patriots, and a couple other guys are getting interviews. Hank Fraley, Randall, who's the wide receiver coach. Hank Fraley's the offensive line coach. They're getting interviews for OC jobs. So, man, Dan and them may be building a whole new staff.
Do you think the Ben Johnson move is a good fit for Caleb Williams? This will be really the first time we see him work with a quarterback other than Jared Goff. And mind you, Jared Goff was a veteran when he got traded over there. And we know that Goff is a traditional rhythm quarterback. Caleb, that is something that drastically needs to be worked on. Do you think that'll be a good fit for him?
I think it's going to be a good fit for him. I think that Chicago is kind of a soft landing spot when you look at, they definitely have to get better in the trenches. That's no doubt about it. But you got a number one true receiver over there. You got a solid tight end in Cole Kmet. Decent running game in Swift. Wouldn't surprise me if they go draft somebody in the first 2 or 3 rounds of this draft to kind of compliment him or make him a compliment too. And then defensively, you got some pieces. You got a piece on the defensive line as your pass rusher. You got a couple great linebackers. You got a couple great DBs and Jalen Johnson and Brisker. So to me, when you look at the talent level, to me it was Jacksonville and Chicago probably at the top of the list in terms of talent. Now, do you want to deal with whoever's in the front office? I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that relationship with Ryan Poles is. I think that he's probably on his last leg. We also have Mr. Warren there, who was the former Big Ten commissioner, who's the president of that organization. I think those two are kind of tied together intrinsically. And initially, we didn't hear Ben's name in this search because Ben, kind of was rumored to want some either to bring in his GM. So let's look at how this relationship, develops going forward. But I think it's a soft landing spot. And as far as Caleb, I think Caleb needs to play more on time. I think a lot of times, he played off script a lot at USC. But that offensive line wasn't the best, and this offensive line wasn't the best. I think Ben is going to be a guy who's going to emphasize the run a little bit more play action, and try to take some of the pressure off of Caleb. It's not going to be on him. And again, he's got to improve in the trenches on both sides of that line. I'm sorry, both sides of their line.
Okay.
Josh, what are your thoughts? Because I remember you had a TikTok last year that kind of went viral where you talked about the prospect of Caleb Williams, but you wasn't sure he was going to get the proper coaching as you expected. What do you think about this marriage of Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams?
So I mean, well, I appreciate you remembering that, man. You just brought it back into my remembrance. Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing with Caleb Williams. Like I was out there in advance. I said I don't believe he's going to get coached well with his then former coach Matt Eberflus. The Ben Johnson thing, as long as he ain't go out here and doing some double, triple reverses and damn crunch time, I'm good with it. While down 10, as long as Ben Johnson isn't doing that with the Chicago Bears, I'm okay with it. The hire though, I think that like you just kind of hit it as well, DT. You're talking about Jared Goff, who was already a guy that got coached really well with Sean McVay, became a Pro Bowl type of guy with Sean McVay. And so he already had those certain characteristics. He had a chip on his shoulder, getting traded to the Lions and that type of stuff. So he knew how to harness that type of talent, and he already knew how to be a pro. I think with Ben Johnson, him being a first-time head coach, if he does not establish the run game with Caleb Williams, if he does not find a way to get the ball into his playmakers' hands, it's going to be a strong learning curve for Caleb Williams. As long as Ben Johnson can find a way to allow him to make smart decisions whenever he's holding on to the ball, whenever he's having good protection, because a lot of the times he was really struggling when he was holding on to the ball. When he didn't have to think 3 seconds or less, he was balling. But after that 3 seconds, when he had to improvise, he like, I don't know where I need to go with the rock. That's kind of where he struggled then. So I think as long as Ben Johnson can establish a run game and draft the running back to complement DeAndre Swift, I think that he's going to be well off. Caleb Williams, he's probably not the most talented quarterback that was drafted this past. I think we all agree Jaden Daniels is probably the most talented, but I think Caleb Williams is right in that same air as well. And he didn't play bad this year.
Yeah, a lot of people knock him, really, really hard. But Jaden just blew everybody off the water. Yeah. But he didn't play bad. And I think one aspect that could totally unlock a Ben Johnson offense is the mobility of a quarterback. Even on that Saints play on 3rd and 1 when he went empty set for no apparent freaking reason, but Jamar Gibbs was getting 8 yards of carry on that fake play. If Goff had a little bit more gumption, a little bit more athleticism, and a little bit more, you know what? Hey, it's not there, but there's a lane for me to go. He could have picked up the 1 yard. He could have. But because he's not that athletic guy, he just stood in the pocket, waited until it was too late, and then tried to step up in the pocket, and it collapsed on him. So don't sleep on working with or wanting an athletic component now to that quarterback position that he can add into that, to his offense.
Absolutely.
I mean, Chicago wasn't really missing anything. Like nothing major. Like Ben Johnson is not walking into a Saints situation. He's walking into a situation where you got a quarterback. I sure did take a shot at him. They got a quarterback. They got a running back. I agree that right now, two-headed monsters seem to be the consensus across the league. Mm-hmm. You got that. You got your wide receivers. You got a pretty decent defense. Add a couple of pieces over there, depending on what scheme he wants to use, and what he feels will complement him as on the offense for his defense. Get you a couple of players like that. Chicago can definitely be in the mix in the North. So I think one thing too with Ben Johnson, rumor had it, was that he didn't want to walk into a situation where he had to start from the bottom. He wanted something that was already there. They were just missing a coach. So that's Chicago right now. I do believe and think that this will be a better situation for Caleb. in that, because again, yes, a whole new offense. You got to learn a whole new offense or whatever. Welcome to the NFL. Okay, that's how it works. Welcome. But at the same token, I believe like with him using his mobility, him being able to use, we can probably see Caleb's arm a little bit better. And him probably telling Caleb not to be more off script, be able to plant your feet, get your footwork together, plant your feet, and be able to do it, because you got the targets, you got everything you need. You're just missing that development and coach that you're going to need to help move you along. So I'm gonna give Chicago that benefit of the doubt, And then speaking of Henry's, they really are going to have to rebuild. But this is where we get to see really what Dan Campbell is really made of. Can he really rebuild this team? But just even having Glenn, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all defense did take a lot of hits on there, and I think that kind of limited him a little bit, because we seen what y'all can do on defense, but those injuries come back and hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's next man up, they come back and hurt you. But again, I like what Glenn did over there for the defense. I like how he worked that defense. I don't know if it's going to work over there in Jets country. We're going to see. When that comes over there, I wish him nothing but the best. But at the same token, again, hopefully we can see some of this success what the Lions had over the past couple of years with some of these other teams. But I'm mad that he did that cup that way. But we are going to definitely see.
He definitely did it on purpose.
Like Maddie did that cup. But I'm dying really to kind of see what Dan Campbell's going to do with the Lions and see if the Lions can keep that same dominance with that. So do definitely want to see that. If not, NFC North is going to be all eyes on y'all, especially if the Vikings come back the way people are thinking they're going to come back.
I don't know about that, but I will say this. Don't underestimate staying in the division, and having that knowledge of scouting those three other teams for the last 3 or 4 years. So he has a working knowledge of what teams really do, and he has a working knowledge of what the inner workings of what the Lions like to do. Of course, they're going to be replacing their defensive coordinator, but I think that's an advantage as well. He's going to have to connect with that team, build a culture. He's going to have to connect with that team personally. He's going to have to build a solid group of a solid coaching staff to kind of help him with that. And I think that's going to be the key, because I think the talent is in the building, but there is a little bit of immaturity and some growth that needs to happen. And I wonder if he's the guy for that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. One last coaching note. We talk about the Dallas Cowboys partially. What in the world are they about to do? Are they really about to hire Brian Schottenheimer, dog?
No, they're not. I think that's just smoke screens right now. To be honest,
it better be smoke screen, because
this is desperation for Jerry. But what I will say too, as well, when it comes down to it, and I'm just going to be real with it, Jerry Jones needs a yes man. He needs a yes man for a head coach. That's gonna be it. Because I'm gonna say it. I don't wish this upon nobody. May that man live to be 125. But if he doesn't get him if he doesn't find a coach that can help him get that Super Bowl that he is lingering for, been wanting for since '95. Okay, he gonna be watching the Super Bowl, then win a Super Bowl from the upper room. Okay, because at this point in time, he's not. I feel this is the second year in a row that the Cowboys, in a sense, has had a slow start to the offseason. From offseason acquisitions and picking up certain players to make the team better, to now putting their hat in the ring for a head coaching position. It's right now. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Dak Prescott is out, probably more than likely into the first game of the season, more than likely with that hamstring. Yeah. So when we're thinking about this, what are we doing? Y'all need a running back. Y'all still need somebody on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. Y'all need some other help. Y'all got to get Mika some other help now. Come on now. Y'all got to get him something. You got to look at. Yeah, you got to look at a lot of things going into this off season. And a coach is something that you don't need to be putting on when you need to be sitting over here evaluating your guys. So I'm just gonna laugh because it's the Cowboys. And they fans get on my nerves. I lived in Dallas for so long, and I'm glad to be out of there. But at the same token, I love to see them squirm and just get upset. It just makes my day. So Jerry, keep doing what you're doing, honey, because it's just making my day. Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know what to say. I am so speechless. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, pardon my casualness. I didn't even know where Brian Schottenheimer was coaching at until they mentioned his name for this job.
Hey, real
I
talk.
didn't know.
Real talk.
I didn't know where he was. I mean, I'm like, is this some type of nepotism going on here? I didn't even know he was in the back. I didn't know it was OC. So I mean, to me, for Dallas, what are we doing? You had Kellen Moore, who was kind of your coaching waiting. You let him go to Philly, kind of humming. They were doing what they
Chargers first, then Philly.
You brought in Dion. I don't know what that was about. The roster is the roster. You know what I'm saying? You got CeeDee Lamb. I don't think Rico Dowdell is a terrible player. I think I can rock with him. I think you need some upgrades on that offensive line, of course. But you got Micah. You need some pieces on that defense, no doubt. But it's still, to me, when you look at the roster, a solid, appealing job. What makes it not appealing? Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, whoever is running the front office.
Jerry.
No one wants to deal with you. You America's team, but don't nobody want to come. That ain't American. Everybody want to come to America.
I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself.
Want to come there. We can strip that moniker. I don't know what's going on. Somebody really need to look into Jerry, make sure he okay. Make sure he still got all his, facilities. Because this is crazy. I thought Stephen would probably have a little bit more active role, but Stephen getting old too. I'm getting old, so Stephen got to be getting old. So with that being said, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe this is the higher form, but I have no analysis on this. Best of luck to you, Jerry and them.
Yeah, I think they'll end up hiring Kellen Moore as their head coach. He can't really get interviewed right now because they're still in the postseason. But I hope they don't hire this guy, Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Marty's son. That's what they Marty's son.
Like he was
Georgia fans know all about him. We know all about him. I
didn't know he was the OC for the Dallas Cowboys. He was the OC in name. I mean, we all know Mike McCarthy was calling the calls. But it's just another example of how Dallas is not serious about winning. They're not serious about winning championships. You kind of mentioned that their roster has some pieces. To me, offensively, man, I think they're a bottom 10 roster on the offensive side. Yeah, they got Micah, they got Diggs, but he's coming back from an injury. I think he just had another surgery. You got Bland. Who are their safeties? They just had their other linebacker, Overshown, get hurt. So the more that I'm looking, is DeMarcus Lawrence is getting old. To me, it's looking like it's a bottom 10 roster. If we're just being honest, they don't sign anybody in free agency. They don't make any trades. He's not going to give up any draft compensation to go acquire some guys. So, I mean, it's just another example of Jerry.
No, that's a lie, Josh. They traded for Jonathan Mingo. That wouldn't why.
We will take it. Gave us a 4th rounder for him, and he's a Jag. But I mean, it's just another example of Jerry being Jerry and the Cowboys being the Cowboys. So until they actually hire a guy, until they actually go out and sign other people, and then they're going to wait for Micah Parsons. Why isn't he signed to a new deal already? But once again, we'll see. Once the new season starts, he'll be signed right before the first game, on the last minute, right before the last hour type stuff. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly. Well, Mark, what more can we not ask for but just to have this? But I do want to say this, though. Y'all know Y'all know Travis Scott's "Pick Up the Phone" is like one of my like little songs that I like. And right now, the Tampa Bay Bucks is telling Lim, "I need you to pick up the phone for me," because that man had popped a whole 180 and decided to take his butt back over there to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and is probably working on a deal to become their new head coach. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in shambles, so that's another happy note for me at this point. But in the same token, I just wanted to say, shout out to Lim, because I'm gonna need you to start playing that Travis Scott "Pick Up the Phone," because he been sending them the voicemail all day. Sorry, yes. So I just wanted to say that one about that little coaching carousel over there. But yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Most definitely crazy. But all I gotta say is this about Dallas Cowboys, man. Hey, look, I have dear-hearted friends from college, from my hometown, from work, to kids that are diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. After we won Saturday, nobody can talk to me about incompetence and sorriness. The Dallas Cowboys are the only team in the NFC to not win or even taste the ground or even touch the grass of an NFC championship since the 1995. I was born in 1995.
Hey, same.
So all this,
Y'all some youngins.
we definitely young grew up here. But all this talk about we're going to the Super Bowl and stuff like this, hey man, nah. Let's get to NFC Championship real quick. Then we can dance. Until you touch NFC Championship, we can dance. But that's all I got to say. Let's go ahead.
I mean, let's be real, y'all. It was between you or the Giants or the Eagles that were playing in the win or go home type situation with them. So yeah, all three of y'all that kind of kept them out when it was a win and go home type situation with the Dallas Cowboys. So there's that when it comes down to it. There's that. But yeah.
Most definitely. But now let's go ahead and get ready for championship week. The NFC Championship will be my Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. This matchup is very strange because this will be third time we played them. We haven't played the Eagles in the playoffs since like the 90s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely going to be that vintage feel. I always love playing at Philadelphia. Something about seeing that cold air, seeing the fan base, the green and stuff like that. So this is definitely going to be a different matchup, because when I look at this matchup now, you played them for the third time. Who knows you better than your own division? Two matchups have both been close. First time we played in Philadelphia, we had a 10-7 lead, I believe, until they started to break out. Saquon started to get some explosive runs, went to 26-18. Then we all know the last time we played them, Jalen Hurts got hurt on the second drive after they scored the touchdown. But Kenny Pickett was still able to put 26 points afterwards after that. We won that game 36-33 in the final seconds, and we had 5 turnovers. We won with 5 turnovers.
Remember that.
Usually games like that, you don't win. We've seen some
Tell
anomalies.
me about it.
But more of the story though, man, like I definitely see this as a game where whoever makes the first mistake either is penalties or a fumble or interception, and that flips the field. This is going to be that type of game, because Washington, once again, is still going to be playing with house money. We don't have nothing to lose. We don't have the outside of the media praise for Jaden Daniels. We don't have that crazy expectation we're supposed to win this game. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, they have the better roster. They have the more talent. They have Saquon Barkley, who is a MVP finalist. They have way much pressure and expectations that were coming into the season. So I'm going to let y'all determine y'all keys of the game and who y'all think will win. But like I told C. Henry last week, I'm playing with house money. I ain't got nothing to lose. Because win or lose, I want to win, most definitely. If I want to win, but if we lose, it's just the stepping stone of what's to come in the NFC East and the NFC for the Washington Commanders.
I still don't understand how we let y'all sit over here. Y'all two get in there from the NFC East. Still don't understand how we let that happen. But hey, it happened.
Let's talk about the Rams all of a sudden just decided to drop the ball and not use.
But that was a known. That was going to be a known factor with them anyway. They play good, but they've been inconsistent all year. So
up and down.
It was just the wrong time for them to have that inconsistency show.
And they still had a shot to win.
And they did. But I do agree. Key to the games is going to be definitely who makes the most mistakes in there. One thing I could say about Jalen Hurts, and I like Jalen Hurts, he tends to he's not a pocket quarterback. He never was a pocket quarterback. I've never seen him as a pocket quarterback, even from his time playing at Alabama and Oklahoma. Never seen him do all of that. I always figured he was one that loves to move the pocket and loves to run the ball. And I think that's what's going to kind of hurt the Eagles just a little bit, is if you force him to actually throw that ball. It's either going to be a good ball or it's going to be a pick. One or the other, and again, you still got Saquon. I feel like they are going to run the ball a lot with them. Again, Devontae Smith is Devontae Smith. You got AJ Brown, still AJ Brown. The only key factor on this that's going to make a major difference, which I lean a little bit more to y'all, is they're missing the Kobe Dean. And don't get me wrong, I love Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith, that is my boy. That is my baby boy. He stepped up, but the defense, just even looking at what they did, even with playing with the Rams, they make stops, but then they don't make stops. And going up against a running quarterback like Jaden Daniels, just how he's just a magician, to be honest with you, I think that's going to get that defense fits. Don't get me wrong. You still got Jalen Carter up there. You still got why I want to say Akeem Hicks. Why I want to say that? Don't mind me. My mind is going 50 miles an hour. But you still got a good, tough defensive line. You still got a good back with Slay and back there. I think Quavon Mitchell got hurt. I'm not sure how bad his injury was.
Yeah, say he can play.
Yeah. Okay, because I'm not sure how bad that injury was, but you still got a good back end. I even heard that they would put Ringo back there, and I don't know why they put Ringo back there, but that's another story. But again, I just feel, yes, he belongs to safety, not a corner. But I do believe that I'm going to give the edge to Washington. And the only reason why is because that defense can definitely give up some yards, especially if y'all use Jaden the way y'all been using him, letting him run, getting in there. Scary Terry, still Scary Terry. But yeah, if their offensive line can hold up against that defensive line and keep him upright, and even if he escapes the pocket, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of an edge. Now, the saying is sometimes you can't beat a team twice. I don't know about a third time, because sometimes a third time is a charm. So we just not going to have that superstitions with there, but I will give the edge to the Washington Commanders if they can play the way we've been seeing them play majority of the season.
Go ahead.
Say this. I'm totally torn on this game because I'm saying, I'm not gonna lie, after seeing Jaden's performance last week, I'm a believer. He's a problem. But that third game is a tough game. You guys split the series. Jalen Hurts did get hurt that last game. He's limping into this game. So that's a big factor. How well is he going to be for this game? I don't know what the weather conditions are going to be in this game as well. But, man, Philly is a tough defense. I know Nakobe Dean is not there, but they have that pass rushing ability with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Are they going to be able to disguise their blitzes? One thing I think Cliff did a great job last week of was spreading our defense out pre-snap. and basically have making us show who was coming. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it was Brian Branch. He's standing in an awkward position because you know what I'm saying, if he flanks out too far, there's no reason for him to blitz because he's never going to get there. You know what I'm saying? So if Cliff can, you know what I'm saying, give those pre-snap looks to Jaden where he can identify where that pressure is coming from, it could be a long day for that Philadelphia defense. But I feel like, and I might be going through a little PTSD, but I feel like with Saquon in this game, Saquon has had the ability to really, really gas you guys in some of the games past. If they stick to him and they stick to their game plan, they have a chance to do some damage up front and contain Jaden and keep him off the field. That's one thing the Lions didn't do. You know what I'm saying? We got away from running the football consistently, and we couldn't keep Jaden off the field. I think with a better defense, Saquon Barkley, with them probably being more committed to the run, this could be a tight game. I think Philly has the edge, but I don't know, man. I'm still JD5, man. He did something to me. I almost want to put my left hand up. I almost want to put it up, but I can't.
Hey, JD is the truth. I got a couple keys, just two to three. The first one, you hinted at Saquon, best running back. I tell everybody, man, he's the best prospect I've ever seen at the running back position coming out of college. He is that good. Saquon Barkley, he's going to break one on y'all. I just don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be over 20 yards. He's going to have about 2 to 3 rushes of 20 yards plus. If you guys can contain him, you got a shot. Second one, the defensive backs for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quinyon Mitchell is nursing a shoulder injury. We know Darius Slay is he's on a little bit of the older side. How is he going to match up? Is he going to travel with Terry? Is it going to be Quinyon? Are they going to
That's Terry's son right there.
Hey, is he going to travel with him? Is it going to be Cooper DeJean? Whoever is going to be, what is that secondary going to look like? I think they're going to run a lot of man. They got a plaster to these guys to lock them up. And then lastly, it's going to come down to the one-of-one rookie, Jaden Daniels. What decision, how is he going to perform? It's going to be cold. I think I just looking at the temperature, you're talking about it. About 34 degrees should be the high. How is he going to produce? He's a superb talent. He literally has the opportunity to be the first rookie in NFL history to lead his team to a Super Bowl. So the legs of Jaden Daniels, I don't like him. I don't like when he takes the shots, man. He be having me worried, Darius. I'll be like, oh, man, slide on the ground and stuff like that. But what plays is he going to make with his legs? The tight window throws, taking care of the ball. He will put you guys in a spot to succeed. Saquon, JD overall, and the Eagles DB.
Well, definitely. I definitely think 3 X factors are to me. 1, Dyami Brown. Dyami has had an outstanding playoff. He has finally lived up to the type of player that he's supposed to be, in my opinion. Bad coaching from Ron Rivera, misplacing him. Cliff has found him a role, and once Noah Brown went out, he's definitely playing the role he's supposed to be, a guy that takes the deep shots and with contested catches. He's going to be an X factor to help. He's also helping Terry when Terry is attracting that coverage that leads him one-on-one in certain situations.
Yeah,
Number 2, Marshawn Lattimore. Now, I understand with Philadelphia's passing game has been very in flux with, Jalen Hurts coming back. But I still think the Eagles will probably find ways to get the ball. I feel like this is probably the healthiest we have seen with Marshawn. And also, Marshawn hasn't really had a time to play within our defense. So he might lose some battles, but I think if he can hold his end, as he's not being targeted as much, which makes Mikey Sanderstill, Quan Martin, and other guys step up and make plays on the ball. This defense has been opportunistic as well. 6 turnovers so far in the playoffs. And I think the biggest X factor is obviously Jaden Daniels, man. If Jaden plays the same way like he's been playing, taking care of the football, identifying the blitz, QBR against the blitz obviously is supposed to be at 100. He is at a 99.7. I don't believe Vic Fangio is going to bring as much pressure because he likes to rely on the front four, and that's going to be a key part too. Samuel Cosby with the torn ACL at the Detroit game, that's going to be big. I think Andrew Wiley will be put in that guard. You have Cornelius Lucas, but if his legs and deciding on crucial moments will be the biggest X factor. Because we all know the one play when we played Philadelphia, the 4th and 11, literally saved us the game where he rushed for 35 yards to get us in field goal range and touchdown range and stuff like that. So Jaden is the biggest X factor. Those are my 3 X factors. But I'm going to root for the home team, man. It's time. It's time to shock the world. My Washington Commanders play in New Orleans. Who you got?
I'm just gonna say this. You said a name that I just want to know that are you really trusting Grabby Laddie to really actually make a play? That's what we call him, Grabby Laddie. He likes to grab. Are we? So you basically.
He didn't grab the last couple games, but to me personally, I felt like he played good against Marshawn. I mean, not Marshawn, AJ Brown. Of course, there were a couple of flags I wasn't about. There was one he definitely grabbed on, but hey, look, these are the playoffs, and this is the reason why we brought him over here. Like, you got to shout out the number one guy. So, and we know it's kind of a good timing with how their passing game is. So I am like to see how we hold up against Dallas Goedert and Smith as well. But if we take one side of the field away, I think our guys will try to find a way to get some plays on some balls against Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Okay. We gonna try.
That's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, Grabby Laddie. I'm taking that.
Yeah, Grabby Laddie. Hold on, you can't take that because that's Falcons lingo.
Oh, hey, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. Then you got it. You got it. You got that.
That's yeah. We got some lingo for y'all over there too, but I ain't gonna tell y'all. About it. Yeah, we gonna let little bruh and them figure it out for themselves though. But yeah, you and Mighty Mouse over there.
Hey, Mighty Mouse is lighting y'all up.
Hey, about time.
Hold on, he beat y'all when it was like 9 points. He beat y'all the rain too.
Hey, that's what I said. Just be patient. Hey,
I had to throw that in there. I was like,
just be patient.
Y'all decide the game. We can't have this NFC South hate up here, man.
Listen, I'm staying out of grown folks' business.
Look, Bryce, this just like you and me on Ohio State, Michigan. Good God.
You said
it was about time the teenager decided that he wanted to show up. Congratulations.
That's crazy.
That's nasty.
You asked what we got.
Tell him don't walk in with his backpack no more, looking like my son, and he in high school, and that's a shame.
That's nasty.
Hey,
oh man,
they talking really good to get packed up the last week. We sent y'all home, right?
Hey, that's fine. We deserve to go home. That defense was not trying to play nothing. We deserve to go home. That is perfectly fine. But let me ask you this question though. Even though you packed us up and we benched the quarterback, but didn't that same quarterback beat y'all the first time?
Who? Kirk Cousins?
Yes, Kirk Cousins on that trash field that y'all call the field over there in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, but I mean, we spun the block again, and you guys had an opportunity to go to postseason, and you ended up with what pick? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, ain't y'all higher than us?
Hey, that's fine. We just
get some chips. You want some, C. Henry?
Loading up. That's it.
I'm still over here mad, DT. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. I'm still upset.
Let me go ahead and say this. Ain't y'all the one that made the decision to get rid of your best wide receiver, and that's why y'all over there chilling with Thielen?
I mean, look, I'm not here for the old man receiver, But we weren't the team that offered a guy 100+ million coming off an Achilles injury, and then benched him, and now you're thinking about cutting him and taking a $90 million salary cap hit. Yeah. I mean,
hey, we did, and the reason, that same $90 million quarterback that we beat y'all, that's number one. Swept the Bucks, that's number two, and literally put us in a position to where the rookie could have came in and stole the shine. So I'm not doing no tripping.
But he didn't, because he played the Carolina who? Okay.
They play, yeah. And what did your wait a minute? What did Xavier Legette do? Because I know he been out there cooking coons and skinning them, taking the skirt off. But what
kids, I know y'all got a rivalry going on, but we got two wonderful games going on this week. We got two beautiful games. I'm talking about, I can't even make a pick. So I think we should go there. But hey, we got to come back to this Atlanta Carolina battle, though. I'm gonna let you know my picks real quick. Josh, you definitely coming back for when we do the NFC South for sure.
I appreciate it.
We gotta have you on, man. But with that being said, listen, man. Philly by 6, man. I'm taking the points.
Philly by 6.
I'm taking the over on 47.5. But if I have to go to money line, unfortunately, I'm gonna go. I think I think I'm going Philly. I might hedge my bets, but I think I'm going Philly.
Okay.
I think I'm going Philly.
Smart bet.
I know y'all my cousins and all, but I'm gonna take that money line. And I should have hit last week, but my AJ Punk self couldn't get 25 yards. Cost me about $400. You know what I'm saying? Even took them 9.5 points. You know what I'm saying? But this is a tough game. I might switch by tomorrow, because with Jalen Hurts being hurt, I just don't know. But that's where I'm at right now.
What about the other game, AFC game?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We hadn't got to the analysis yet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all took over the screen. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. I'm definitely going Eagles too. My bad. Eagles. Okay. I probably would take the points.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is 95. He is a Q. Shout out to all my Omega Psi Phi, my men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to all of them. 5 or 6 other fraternity. You only gonna name one? I mean, they ain't even your brothers. I know. They ain't even your brothers. Look, I don't even support the Kappas like that. I give love to the Sixers. I give love to the Kappas. Blasphemy. Yeah, and then
she's a hater.
And then the Ice Cold Brothers of who? I'm good on them too. So yeah, I love my iotas though. I do, but black on black crime. Yeah, we gotta stop all this black crime. Shout out to them Qs though. I'm good with all the sorors or whatever. Y'all all good with me. Y'all all good with me. Ski weed, whatever. We be doing. Hey, we always good. We good with everybody, But I've been rooting for the underdog all season, so I'm gonna go for the underdog. Shout out to them Commanders. Again, I would love for Jaden Daniels to be the first rookie quarterback to actually make it to the Super Bowl. Just to have a change of scenery. Let's have a change. I do not want to see an Eagles and a Chiefs possibly rematch. I don't want to see that. I'm good. I'm good on that, beloved. I want something new. I want something fresh. And again, don't sleep on Dan Quinn though, who's been in this division for a couple of years. So he's been sizing up the Eagles for a while. Oh yeah, so he went to the Super Bowl his second year as a head coach with us as a Falcon. So again, I'm not putting anything past. Yeah, I said it. Just like you want to talk about, just like you want to talk about somebody patting somebody up. Didn't we end y'all undefeated season 2 when y'all went to the Super Bowl and had a crybaby?
We still got Buffalo and Kansas City. We still got them on the docket.
I'm chilling. I ain't say that.
DT, get your business, baby. Do the job, DT.
All right, I got you. We know the biggest matchup on Sunday at 6:30 will be the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That boy, my homeboy versus Josh Allen. do we think this is the game that Josh will finally get the monkey off his back and finally reach that upper echelon? I mean, that upper echelon, touching that Super Bowl grass and playing and possibly winning a Super Bowl. That remains to be seen. But I definitely think the keys to this game will be what I watch from Kansas City. We know they have played in very tight matchups, very one-score games. Probably the healthiest they've been so far. My key will be this defense for Buffalo. Now, I have this weird superstition. I have a weird problem with Buffalo when it comes to defense. When regular season, just like we talk about Lamar Jackson, regular season, give me that Buffalo defense. Postseason, they set you up for failure. I'm really curious to see how this defensive front, the linebackers with Matt Lodano returning back, the secondary play up against the Kansas City offense. You know, playoff Kelsey, he has 7 catches for 117 yards. Who's going to contain him? The running game is kind of okay with Kansas City. Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco are splitting carries. That's going to be my biggest factor. But I also think with Josh Allen, we know he has not turned the ball over. And I'm kind of nervous because we just talked about Lamar.
Uh-oh.
He ain't gonna give it up, man. He ain't gonna give
Done
it up.
it, done it.
Why
Done
not
it, done it.
Lamar?
That
Why
Kansas
Lamar?
City dark magic, bro. I'm just saying. That dark magic.
I mean, the Bills did come in last time and beat them last year. They did, but again, as we said, it's kind of hard to beat somebody twice, and let alone you're playing them again in a playoff atmosphere. You got them at home, and again, Patrick Mahomes is a different quarterback when it comes down to playoff time. So, like you said, dark magic. I do think that Josh will get close, but I think it'll be another one of those hit and miss. I think that's what it's gonna be, because I'm not gonna talk about turnovers because I'm not jinx that, because I want it, but I just feel like when Josh gets in these situations, I think there's a mental blockage too for him. That same thing with Lamar, but we gotta ask, like, why every time you get up against Patrick Mahomes and you can beat him in the regular season, you just can't do it. I think the last time Patrick Mahomes lost to somebody was Jerry Burrow, Mr. Burrow. That was the last time he lost to some. So again, I'm gonna get an ass to Joey, because Joey's the only one that beat Pat in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nobody else has not beat Pat in the playoffs, let alone a Josh Allen. So I do agree that I'm looking at him like this, looking at him like this, like, what can you do? Well, then, because we, again, like C. Henry said earlier, then we might have to come back and have this conversation about Josh Allen, because it's gonna be what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a different Chiefs team in the playoffs than what we've seen in a regular season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's hard to root against Pat. He's going for the 3-peat. This game could be legacy defining for him. And to me, it just seems like offensively, they seem to be getting their rhythm. They get Hollywood Brown back now. You see Xavier Worthy, kind of expanding his role in the offense. The safety valve and Kelsey. Kareem Hunt looks almost unstoppable, inside the 5-yard line. They look like a very, very tough team. You still got, Chris Jones over there defensively. They're still talented with Spagnuolo over there. And again, though, Lady E, I'm kind of rolling your way, man. I think that it's very, very hard for Josh Allen, who continuously beats him in the regular season, to beat Pat when Pat's at his best. Pat sometimes gets bored with the regular season. I don't think they have Pacheco in that game. Again, they didn't have Hollywood Brown in that game.
Yeah, they were really banged up that game.
For them, this late in the season, and as well as they've looked, I think it's going to be tough sledding for Josh Allen in Buffalo. You pointed to that defense, DT, sometimes not showing up. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think, Pat is going to find himself playing for another championship and a defining game in the Super Bowl.
Man. Oh, man. Josh Allen. He was the only guy to beat Kansas City within the last in about a year. We don't really count the last regular season game against the Denver Broncos. They didn't really play any starters. But I mean, dating back to the last season, probably midway through the season, he's been the only person to really beat the Chiefs when they've been starters. Like everybody's been in the game.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Josh Allen, man. I think that, a lot of people heading into the season, they were questioning, was Josh Allen a top 5 quarterback? They were also saying, hey, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs made him. I want to see if he can elevate the guys around him. And obviously he has. And I think in this situation, this game, you are going to see him do it. We know Mahomes is Mahomes. Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce. I just got to rock with Josh Allen just for my narrative's sake. If you want me to be honest, just for my narrative's sake. So Josh Allen gets it done. The Bills Mafia, they secure their first Super Bowl championship against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think they still got that curse on them, so I'm gonna stay away from that.
That Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna stay away from that because I think they still got that curse on them.
I will say last week, Baltimore was able to run the football on them a little bit. We saw, Henry have a solid game. Of course, Lamar was able to do some things. Justice Hill had a couple of runs. If Kansas City is able to have success running the football and again limiting the opportunities for Josh Allen, I think it could be a tough day for them. I think that's the key. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, wins the battle on the ground is going to possibly win that game.
But remember, that was like the second half when they started popping them runs. The first half, it was kind of locked up just a little bit. So
I get you.
I see you.
I mean, I'm gonna give Buffalo their props. They can stop the run, but my thing about it is too, again, you're playing in the cold. If you got a running back like Hunt or even Pacheco, even though I feel like Pacheco is more of an East and West running back anyway, and Hunt is your North and South, who is really going to want to tackle that all game? Somebody running at you full steam ahead like that is not that's one of the key factors. You don't want to tackle that all game. You're going to give up some yards after a while. And the thing is, when you have a coach like Andy Reid on that sideline, he's gonna find ways. I do believe that this game is, but I still believe that Buffalo got their curse. But I do believe this game is going to be a very close game. I'm still gonna etch out the Chiefs because I'm just not going to just not count Patrick Mahomes out. That Patrick Mahomes literally showed me he was a dog when he sit over there and had that high ankle sprain, went to the back, came back out and won. I don't know what they shot him up with, but he showed me he was that dog then. So I don't, especially after they lost the first time again, they were banged up. That first game, I think Andy is taking notes from that game. Again, I just feel like the Chiefs are actually going to be ready for him this time.
Yeah, 2-point spread. So basically even money with Kansas City being at home, 48 and a half over. I may take the under on that. 23 degrees.
Yeah. And that's 23 degrees Kansas. That might be almost below freezing, like negative degrees, what it feels like after a while, because we're talking Kansas.
Well, I'm sorry. Sunday 30. It'll be high at 36. It's high at 36.
High at 36.
Yeah, lower 25. So, but yeah. How you see it, DT?
Well, one, I think some of the key factors is when I watched Kansas City played Houston last week, I was actually surprised of the amount of yards per carry in the run game that Texans were using effectively with Joe Mixon. Obviously, I think one of the big X factors will be the combination of Josh Allen's legs and Cook running the football.
Yeah.
If they can get the same tension that Texans did, I think it'll be one of the key factors in keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field. Long sustaining drives, trying to gash that defense out. We know Spagnuolo, he wants to get you in third and long situations, send corner blitzes, nickel back blitzes, safety blitzes, find ways to wreak havoc. Karlaftis, Chris Jones had a heck of a day against the Texans. Another factor, outside of Shakir, who's going to step up in the passing game? Amari Cooper was a no-show last week. Can they get him involved? Coleman, the rookie, can they get him involved as well? Dalton Kincaid, the tight ends. Cook in the passing game, some screens, some swing plays. Find a way to manufacture some yards in the passing game. I think the biggest X factor of them all is who gets the ball last. Whoever gets the ball last, I feel like wins the game. Either it's a close game or it's a game where you need that crucial third down. Will it be Josh Allen or will it be the GOAT? But for some reason, man, as much as I want to go with Buffalo, I feel like sometimes there's times, just like Steve Young, he had to get the monkey off his back. I got to see it otherwise, man. Last year, I thought it was Lamar's year to get to the Super Bowl. This year, I kept saying to myself, this might be the Bills' year. Until I see someone knock off Patrick Mahomes, I can't go against him, man.
Water blocking. Water blocking.
I can't.
So basically, we getting ready to be talking about Josh Allen next week. Baby, you know, get your little side notes together because we might be here. We might be here next week.
Yeah, he might be up on this channel again. But you know how funny it will be if the Bills come up in the Super Bowl and they lose still to the NFC East, either the Eagles or the Commanders. You know how funny that would be.
Like I said,
I just wanted to point that out because every Super Bowl they have lost has been to the NFC East.
Wow, Cowboys, Giants. What was the other one?
Commanders.
They lost. They lost to y'all too.
Yeah,
Redskins.
Yeah, I ain't want to say the R one. I ain't want to say the R one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. The 1991 Washington team.
That's what it's in their ass. Though.
Yep, 37-24. One of the greatest teams in NFL history.
I remember they lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Cowboys twice. Because remember they went four straight. They went four straight.
They may have because the Cowboys is running that was their era.
That
was the cocaine era. That was the Cowboys era. The cocaine and Cowboys era. They weren't concurrent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine they lose to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. They lost.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, and that's why I said they have a curse. I still believe in a curse. So I think he might want to sit this one out this year. Maybe next year, but sit this one out this year. Because if that's 5, I don't know what to tell you no more.
He gets it done. He gets it done.
Nasty.
He gets it done, man.
Well, we'll see. I still believe they curse.
If not, I'm gonna have you on the podcast again, bro.
All right.
Gotta answer your cries, bro.
Hey, man.
But look, man, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Shout out to Josh. Where can people find you and your content? You also just started the Panthers Pride YouTube channel, talking all daily news about the Carolina Panthers in this upcoming offseason, headed to 2025 season.
Yeah, man. Joshua's Proximity, wherever you get your podcast and stuff, and also Panthers Pride Television on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at _Joshua Edwards. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Darius and everybody else, man. I really appreciate you guys. I love what y'all got going on, man. Introduction was very, very hard. Love the background, love the camaraderie between you three. So yeah, man, definitely look forward to having some more stuff with you guys, man.
No doubt.
Most definitely.
His at name is as hard as the Panthers are going to try to catch up to the Falcons. Just want to say that.
We're trying to close the show. We're trying to close the show.
I had to throw that out there.
Oh, man. Look, yo. Hey, we'll catch you guys next week to recap championship weekend, any coaching updates, and much more. We're also getting ready for the NFL draft and all season. We got a couple special guests to talk NFL from the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, whatever bowl you want to talk about. We're going to get you ready, get ready for all that content. But stay tuned next week to Enter the Line Podcast. It's your boy DT. We got Lady E, the OGC Henry, and my boy Joshua Edwards.
Yes, sir.
This is Enter the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We'll see you guys next week.